Thanks for supporting the channel by clicking the links in the description box. And thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And now let's get into this podversation. What's up, everyone? We're going to have another podversation about Pastor John Gray and his wife, Aventure Gray. Now, we've talked about the situations that he has put his wife in and put in the public's eyes and ears before on this channel, but he continues to put things out there that I just want to discuss and get your thoughts on. So, with everything going on in the world, with the presidential elections and this huge fiasco of all that stuff and the coronavirus, the pandemic, the numbers are rising, so many different things are going on. We really haven't spoken about him since the last thing came out about him talking about his wife to a potential side piece, sending negative text messages about his wife to this woman and trying to convince her, the other woman, or I should say potential, to come and meet him at the airport and go to Mexico and all these other things that he was trying to get this woman to do. Now, the woman was wrong because she was engaging it. She didn't say that they ever met up or did anything, but he was trying to. And the intent is really all that matters when it comes to infidelity. Yeah, the act means a lot as well, but he definitely had the intentions on doing so. But with all of those things going on in the world, he decided to do a public apology on his Instagram account. And he posted this image of his wife. And it begs to question, did she push him to do this? Did his church push him to do this? Did they set up this photo shoot for his wife to have this amazing glam squad and this elaborate outfit and this photo shoot that he could use this photo to put on his Instagram account and then write this long, pretty much blog post about his wife? So this is pretty much what he said. I never knew what consistent discipline, planning, leadership, manhood, or personal holiness in action from a man's standpoint looked like. Okay, let's stop. Before I read anything else, that is a huge problem. How can you be the leader of a church? How can you be the leader of what they call a flock of Christians, and you're saying that you never knew what consistent discipline, planning, leadership, manhood, and personal holiness in action from a man's standpoint look like? What? Who's following this guy? But okay, let's finish. Living a shadow life. God was unwilling to let me die, assuming I was whole. I failed to uphold the holy standard of God in my marriage, and I'm sorry. Although you are the only woman I've ever slept with, okay. Emotional unfaithfulness is just as wrong. Sin is sin. People want to minimize one sin over another when it all can get you sent to hell. Okay, don't talk about other people, talk about yourself. So you're pretty much saying that you're still trying to convince your wife that it was just talking. I was just trying to get to know this person. I just need somebody to speak to. Because if you guys don't remember, they did a little press junket a few years ago, and she was standing up for him. She was defending him. He was saying that he never slept with anyone else, and she was saying, no, he didn't sleep with anyone else. And I know the woman that he's talking about, and we helped her out. We helped her financially. Those things may be true, but how do you know he never slept with this woman? Just because he told you? Anyway, okay. The pain I caused her is immeasurable. Seeing her name in blogs because of things I did broke my soul. I hope so. Okay, continued. So since I was the cause of public embarrassment, let me be, and he put in all caps, just as loud about public honor. Aventer, you are a miracle to me. I am sorry for the pain I have caused you. Your name should have never come up in any conversation in any negative way with anyone ever. Absolutely right. I must do the work to earn your trust. As I've said to my wife, I say to her now in the moment, Aventer, I am sorry for the pain that I have caused you, and my prayer is that the life I live from this moment will be one worthy of the love that you have extended and that our family receives from. Okay. Nice statement. Cool. I don't even know if he really wrote it. Maybe he had a PR person write it up. I don't know. But it sounds like he's trying to convince the people in his church, which is his livelihood, maybe possibly his wife, because it isn't any of our business, but they put this stuff out here. So now it's up for public discussion, right? Not judging this relationship. If she wants to stay with him, cool. But this guy, it sounds like he is really fighting for this position. It sounds like he's really fighting to stay in the place that he has been propped up to be in, which is the head of this relentless church, and continue to grow as a pastor and a leader of this church, and putting this public apology out there because you were busted lying. You were lying. He was lying. Okay, when this woman came out and she said the things about the communication that she had with John Gray, I'm not even going to call him pastor anymore. I get it, that's his title, but I'm just going to talk about the man. When she said that she was having these communications and text messages and FaceTime and screenshots of boobs and all this other stuff that they were doing back and forth with each other, he was dogging his wife out. He was saying she never cooks. His son always has to eat takeout and pizza, and he was dogging his wife out. And I'm not laughing at it, but when all of these things came out, he came out and said that there was an FBI investigation going on for extortion. And I did a video about that then, where I said that this just sounds like an excuse. It doesn't sound like this is really real. It sounds like he is trying to cover it up. He was wrong. He was busted. And now he wants to make it look like there's some criminal intent and this woman is trying to extort him for money. He was offering to fly the woman down to Mexico. He wanted her to come to their home in Houston and all these different things that he was saying. So now this public apology that he's done, it sounds like to me that he's just really trying to convince the people of his church that he's worthy to lead. But I don't believe that he is. I wouldn't go to his church. I'm not knocking anybody who decides to continue to do that. That's your choice if you want to do that. But I am just saying that from the very first statement in this lengthy blog post that he did on his social media account, this sounds like someone who is not ready to be a leader in any capacity in any church. He says, I never knew what consistent discipline, planning, leadership, manhood, or personal holiness and action from a man's standpoint look like. That right there alone says, I am not ready to lead. So I feel like he needs to step down. Step down, chill out, go do what you need to do, go do the work. If it works out between you and your wife, then great. If it doesn't, you just have to deal with it. I'm not here to say that she needs to leave him or she needs to try to work it out with him. That is her choice and that is her decision. Because when you're married, stuff goes on. You're two imperfect human beings trying to build a life together. And sometimes you have somebody that is just a pure jackass like this guy is. And they just don't ever get it together. Whether you decide to continue to allow this person to treat you the way you don't deserve to be treated, that is up to you. But in terms of him being a leader of this church, I just don't get it. I feel like he needs to step down. I don't know. Will he ever really be ready and worthy of leading? Possibly. But right now, I don't know. No, not right now. I don't want to say I don't know. I definitely don't feel like he needs to be leading right now. And he just doesn't have a really good circle of influence, I should say, when it comes to people that he hasn't really been a good influence on when it comes to people who are in relationships that he claims that he's friends with. He's friends with T.I. and Tiny. We've seen the type of marriage that they have. I mean, they choose to stay in it and deal with it. That's their business. But is it an ideal marriage and relationship? Absolutely not. Latoya Luckett and her husband. There's been stories that came out about how her husband has been cheating on her while she was pregnant. I'm just saying, it just isn't, he's not a good person in terms of a relationship for these people to be looking up to and seeking guidance and advice. And it's very weird that he did this statement and he put this image of his wife out there. I mean, she's a pretty lady. I feel sorry for her in some way. I can't imagine what that type of public embarrassment is like, but I don't believe that she deserves it. But again, it's up to her whether she chooses to stay in it or not. But who was the statement really for? I don't know. I would love to know what you guys think about this entire thing in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Do you feel that this statement was to convince the people who goes to his church? Was it to convince his wife? Was it just for show, or was it genuine? Was he really real? People can mess up and make mistakes. We are definitely all people who make mistakes and fall short of the glory of God, like they say. But God, they say, calls those who aren't qualified. He qualifies the called. But the Bible also says that we are responsible for our own actions. And in actuality, there's a scripture that says we have to modify the deeds in our own body. And what that means is that it is your personal responsibility to act right. That's all it really means. It's your responsibility to act right. And if you don't feel like you're ready to be married and it's just not something that you feel is working out for you, then don't continue to drag this woman along in this relationship. But I don't see her leaving because she's been afforded this lifestyle that she didn't have before. But those are just my thoughts. You guys feel free to leave yours in the comments.